Welcome back to Raw Reaction, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed Nate the Effing Great, joined here by Smart Money Podcast's own Mr. AJ Jensen. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing, bud?
I am doing just phenomenal, especially after the show that we saw this past week. It's just, there's really no way that you could say that, we have anything bad to say about wrestling. And then we go into Monday Night Raw, and it's like, well, Nope. Still nothing bad yet. So.
Yeah, I mean, Saturday with the ACW Water City WrestleCon show being the biggest ACW show there's ever been, with over 900 people at that show. We got to meet Bret the Hitman Hart, Kevin Thorne, Carlito, Vicky Guerrero, Mr. Anderson, and the show itself was amazing. And then Raw was pretty decent tonight, so...
Decent, yes. I went with more the description of surreal, to say the least, and we'll talk about that. And later on in the week, you guys definitely tune into Smart Money Podcast, as well as What Did I Just Watch, where we will be definitely talking more and more about the ACW Water City WrestleCon show, because it was unforgettable, let's just say that much. But Monday Night Raw was... again, very interesting. Interesting tag team matchup between, I'm trying to remember who it was. It was Austin Aries and the Gentleman Jack Gallagher defeating Neville and TJ Perkins. Austin Aries actually got into a conversation with Kurt Angle about some idea for the main event of 205 Live. I guess... I don't know what exactly it is. Maybe it's going to be a banana on a pole match. Who fucking knows at this point? But it's all building up to Austin Aries versus Neville 2 this Sunday at Payback for the Cruiserweight Championship. Oh, boy, that's going to be... I mean, if they bring in like half of what they brought at WrestleMania to Payback, they are going to just tear the roof off of in San Jose. I think it's just going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah, that was one of my matches that in the pre-show it was definitely the best match for WrestleMania. It was a match that I thought could have been, like the dark horse match of the night. In the grand scheme of things, it was definitely up there. I think, top 5 matches of the night at WrestleMania. But I think this one's probably going to be probably a lot better. I'm hoping they keep it on the main card this time.
Oh, God, you and me both. Yeah, the only matchup that's announced for the pre-show, as far as we know, is the tag team matchup, which features the Club taking on Enzo and Cass. But also very interestingly, also is going to be a segment of Miz TV, which is going to feature Finn Balor as a guest. So my question is, are they just splitting off or just, pushing aside the whole Dean Ambrose and Miz thing, or are they going to go with Balor and Miz for a feud? Or it seems a little confusing.
I have no idea what they're doing with that. That was kind of weird that they threw that up today, because it didn't really make any sense at all. So I guess that we'll just have to wait and see what comes out of it.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, this Monday Night Raw was surreal. It was different. It wasn't horrible, to say the least. It's just one of those things that kind of makes you scratch your head like, what? I mean, another example. Dana Brooke defeating Alicia Fox. Emma came out and, gave, Dana Brooke this kind of side hug deal. I thought that they were broken up, but I guess they're going to try and build some kind of rivalry between the two of them. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, okay. Why? I don't understand it, really.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Like I said, it's just one of those things where you just have to kind of wait and see what comes out of it, because who knows?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not even going to talk about the whole thing that happened with, Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil, because at this point, we're just going to be at the same thing where it's like, oh, well, let's see what happens. It can't be that bad. Well, it probably will be as worse than we thought. Only joke that I can make about that is, hey, we got to see Spencer's boyfriend in action and destroy Kurt Hawkins once again. Great.
Yeah, actually kind of curious to see where the whole Titus and Apollo Crews thing is going because I really want to see what Apollo Crews is like heel. Because I think he could really wreck some shop as a heel. He comes out, he smiles too damn much. Like, a big guy like that shouldn't smile so damn much.
You could say the same thing about our co-host Spencer, but he does it anyway. It's just like, you know what, this is one of the reasons why we want to just see you get chopped to an oblivion right now. Because you smile so much. You smile so much as Apollo Crews. Jeez Louise. But yeah, that was an interesting matchup. The 6-man tag team match was a bit of a head scratcher, but at the same time, when we saw what came out of it, I was actually very pleased. I'm of course talking about the whole Samoa Joe, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows taking on the team of Seth Rollins, Big Cass, and Enzo. Well, that was originally what it was supposed to be, but then the Club and Samoa Joe attacked Big Cass and Enzo. Enzo got taken out of the picture, and Kurt Angle says, "You know what? You guys are fine. I found your replacement." Who would they get? The Demon King, Finn Balor. And right off the bat, I'm just like, you know what? Totally okay with that. And there's a lot of people that are just thinking like, oh, thank God, we don't have to deal with that little nugget Enzo Amore. So, but yeah, it was actually a pretty good matchup to say the least. I think that it's still going to take a little getting used to Seth Rollins' new finisher. I mean, I like it. I mean, especially after a lot of people seeing what, that knee can do. I mean, you can ask John Cena about that firsthand. But, yeah, just, turning the guy around into a knee, it's an interesting move. I mean, it's different from the pedigree, I guess. So, I don't know. Your thoughts on Seth's new finisher?
I don't know. It's okay. I think that should be more of a setup. I wish he could still do the curb stomp because that would be a great setup to the curb stomp. I don't really know. I just that to me looks like a signature move, not really a finisher. But I want to talk about. I believe it was our first interaction with Finn Balor and Gallows and Anderson since all three have been on Raw at the same time. And it was really cool. They briefly touched upon their history together over in Japan. And Balor gets the ring. He goes right for Anderson. I was kind of hoping maybe like we would get a Finn turn, but maybe that's something far down the lines. But that would just be so dope to see Gallows and Anderson and Balor do a club thing.
That would actually be kind of cool. But what was actually more interesting enough was that I think a lot of people were really also loving the idea of Samoa Joe actually being a part of more of the Gallows and Anderson deal. I mean, the whole deal where they did like the whole Too Sweet deal. There's actually, it's funny, there was this picture on Twitter that I retweeted about some guy just had the picture of all three of them doing that, and then the next one was Randy from South Park, just completely wrecked, just thinking about the idea. I'm just like, oh god, yeah, I would actually love to see Samoa Joe in the Bullet Club. That would just be amazing because I think that would actually work. Considering now that they're probably not going to do the whole Evolution 2.0 deal, I think that it gives Samoa Joe something to do. It'd make him look, again, more like an enforcer. Plus, I really want to see Samoa Joe wear Bullet Club colors. That would just be amazing. I would die a happy man just to see that.
Yeah, at this point, it could be pretty cool, especially like you said with Kevin Owens getting switched over to SmackDown, and it kind of looks like they're pulling the plug on this Evolution 2.0 stable, which I thought would have been amazing. I can't believe they did that. So yeah, if him and Gallows and Anderson did something together, that would be cool. I don't really see it happening, but fans can dream, right?
Well, a man can dream, and that's the quota that we live by here at Elite Ringside Network. I guess going from a dream to, I wouldn't say much of a nightmare, but just not much of what you would expect. Matt Hardy taking on Sheamus, where the Hardys continue to build momentum. Matt Hardy hitting the twist of fate on Sheamus, picking up the win. And again, same thing that we saw last week where, the Hardys and Sheamus and Cesaro just shake hands after the matchup saying, oh, good match, good match. It's like, okay. It's kind of one of those things where it seems like they're two babyface teams going against each other, and it's okay to have that, but at the same time, you still need to have a team. It's basic wrestling chemistry 101, where you need to have a team where, you can cheer for, and you need to have a team that you can boo for. And I don't know. This is just one of those things where it's still kind of confusing, where you see this, it's like, oh, great, you guys have mutual respect for each other. Wouldn't it have made more sense if you guys did that, after your tag team match, really, instead of doing like this whole thing where it's just like, oh, every matchup, shake hands, shake hands, shake hands. No disrespect, but this is WWE. It's not Ring of Honor, to say the least. It's weird. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with two babyface teams going against each other. It doesn't always have to be the good guy versus the bad guy. It's worked well in the past before in several situations. I can see it now. I'm still waiting for WWE to push the broken gimmick. I know they're just waiting on that shit to get settled because they want to do it from what I've read. But how about that? Oh God, what the hell is the name of that move he does? It just escaped my brain.
You talking about Matt Hardy, or are you talking about Sheamus?
Matt Hardy hit the side effect on the ring apron on Sheamus. That was nasty.
Oh geez, oh God, yeah. That. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the whole TNA quote unquote Impact Wrestling days that they had, where Matt Hardy did that to Jeff Hardy off the ring apron through like that wooden round table. But yeah, it's just a really cool spot that they do that. It was one of those things like, oh wow, they really love doing that kind of shit, don't they? It's like, yep, totally okay with that. I'm not going to complain. So, but actually, interesting that you bring that point up, because there's a lot of people that are speculating that the broken gimmick will probably happen a little bit after they lose the tag team titles. I mean, it's probably not going to be exactly like the one in TNA, but it might still be something along the lines where Matt Hardy, he's tired of losing. The titles were, meaningful to him. He goes into this broken state. Maybe he goes into like a psychopathic deal. Jeff Hardy goes off on his own and maybe go into a singles run again. I've heard rumors about him facing Brock Lesnar for the Universal title in the near future, which honestly I think would be awesome. There's probably no way in hell that Jeff Hardy's going to win. No disrespect, but at the same time, I would still love to see that matchup nowadays. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how things go. I don't know how the whole court situation with, I guess we'll call it Anthem versus the Hardys are doing, but you know what? I have a feeling that the Hardys are going to definitely, keep the broken gimmick, but maybe they'll do a little bit of a twist in WWE, which is always great to see, because it's like, okay, we're taking an original concept, but we're adding just a minor little twist to it. It's like, okay, fine. As long as you keep the basic idea of the broken gimmick, I'm totally okay with that. But again, like you said, we'll have to see in the near future what happens. Now let's talk about one of the main highlights of the night, that being the first ever dumpster match between Kalisto and Braun Strowman. First of all, the attire that Kalisto had, I literally looked at it and I'm thinking to myself, well, is that Relic from TNA back a long time ago? He literally looked like a wrestler by the name of Relic. He teamed with like Black Rain, aka Goldust, like years and years ago.